Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, Nishad Wijetunga, the outgoing president of the Sri Lanka Association of Inbound Tour Operators, pointed out the importance of a global tourism promotion operation with establishing an ambitious goal of drawing 3 million tourists at the beginning of the year to Sri Lanka. The government has promised to support the workforce in the garment industry by matching industry demands with vocational training programs. The sector's critical role was emphasized by Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya. On the third trading day of the week, the market showed mixed momentum, with the S&P SL20 seeing downward momentum and the ASPI continuing to gain. And as investors seized opportunities, US stocks closed the day higher, with shares of Nvidia and other artificial intelligence-related technologies rebounding from steep losses the day before.
From Studio 24, here's Anuradhi Vikramasinghe.
A very good evening and thank you for joining us. Outgoing President of the Sri Lanka Association of Inbound Tour Operators, Nishad Wijetunga, highlighted that Sri Lanka has yet to launch a global tourism promotion campaign, despite setting an ambitious target of attracting 3 million visitors at the start of the year.
Sri Lanka fell short of its 2.3 million tourism target for 2024, but still achieved its third highest number of arrivals with 2.05 million visitors, reflecting a 38.07% year-on-year growth. Outgoing president of the Sri Lankan Association of Inbound Tour Operators, Nishad Wijetunga, emphasized the need for a global tourism promotion campaign to attract visitors during the upcoming winter season. He pointed out that digital campaigns targeting consumers directly are essential for boosting inbound travel and encouraging longer stays, making it easier for tour operators to promote the island. Wijetunga noted that while Sri Lanka is already seeing organic interest through travel websites and blogs, a focused campaign is needed to strengthen the country's position as a top travel destination. He also raised concerns over the insufficient vehicle fleet available for tour operators, as the government's ban on vehicle importations has left operators with outdated resources. Although the association requested the importation of 1,000 vehicles last year, only 300 were approved, with the majority allocated for hotel. Wijetunga concluded by urging the government to collaborate with tour operators to address the issue by the end of the budget.
President Anukumara Dissanayake urged Sri Lanka's private sector to actively contribute to uplifting the national economy during his address at the Sri Lanka Economic Summit. Speaking to senior private sector representatives, he emphasized that economic change cannot be solely driven by the government and that the private sector must embrace transformation as well. Dissanayake described the private sector as the engine of growth and called for a collective effort to unlock the country's economic potential. He stressed the importance of a change in attitude across communities to foster growth and development. The president also highlighted the significant role the private sector plays in the shaping of the future of the economy, encouraging leaders to leverage their knowledge and power to drive progress. His comments were shared during a fireside chat with CCC Deputy Vice Chairman Bingumal Tewatantri at the inauguration of the summit. The government has pledged to support the apparel sector workforce by aligning vocational training programs with industry needs. Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya highlighted the sector's vital contribution, accounting for nearly 30% of Sri Lanka's total export earnings in 2024.
Prime Minister Harini Amarasuriya praised the resilience and dedication of Sri Lanka's 350,000 strong apparel sector workforce, vowing the government's continued support for the industry's growth. Speaking at the 42nd Annual General Meeting of the Sri Lanka Apparel Exporters Association, she emphasized the need for infrastructure, policy stability, and a conducive business environment. Dr. Amarasuriya highlighted the vital role of the female workforce, describing them as changemakers who not only support their families but also contribute significantly to the economy. She called for improved working conditions for women, including accessible washrooms, menstrual health support, childcare facilities, and safe workplaces free from harassment. The Prime Minister urged all stakeholders, regardless of size, to maintain uniform standards for ethical and sustainable practices across the sector. She also stressed that reaching the apparel sector's ambitious export revenue goals would require collective effort from the government, private sector and workforce. Dr. Amarasuriya concluded by reaffirming the government's commitment to providing the stability and support needed to drive the industry to new heights.
The Sri Lankan government has initiated talks with India's Adani Group to lower the cost of power from 2 wind power projects planned for the northern province. Cabinet spokesman and Health and Media Minister Nalinda Jayatissa confirmed that discussions are ongoing to reduce the price of electricity from these projects. The government aims to bring the cost down to around 6 cents per kilowatt hour, lower than the original proposed price of 8 cents. These talks come amid a review of Adani's local projects following allegations from US authorities that the Adani Group was involved in a bribery scheme to secure Indian power supply contracts. Adani has denied these allegations and the group has not yet responded to a request for comment on the ongoing negotiations. This is the nightly business report. We're going in for a short commercial break. Welcome back to the nightly business report. The market displayed mixed momentum on the third trading day of the week, with the ASPI maintaining its gains while the S&P SL20 experienced downward momentum. For further insights on this, we speak with Akna Tennakun from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you. The Colombo stock market experienced a highly volatile trading session with the all-share price index fluctuating between positive and negative territories throughout the day. The session ended with the ASPI in the red, closing at 70,117, reflecting a 0.02% drop. Despite the overall dip, increased participation was observed among both high net worth and retail investors. Melster Corp, Sampath Bank, John Keells Holdings, Commercial Bank and Hatton National Bank emerged as the top negative contributors to the index. Increased sentiment was noticed within the construction sector, particularly for Access Engineering, which saw a positive movement. The market turnover stood at 8.4 billion rupees, a 14.2% increase from the monthly average of 7.4 billion rupees. The capital goods sector was the most significant contributor to turnover, accounting for a 36% share, followed by banking and food, beverage and tobacco sectors, which collectively contributed 34%. Overall, despite the fluctuations and a slight drop in the index, the market showed resilience with active participation from both institutional and retail investors, particularly in select sectors such as construction. Thank you.
The secondary market saw limited activity as investors awaited the monetary policy decision and treasury bill auction. Yields on 2027 to 2030 maturities range from 9.75% to 11.35%. The Sri Lankan rupee appreciated to 298 rupees and 4 cents against the US dollar, while overnight liquidity rose to 169.55 billion rupees. For further insights, we speak with Manusha Kandanarachi from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you. CBSL conducted the weekly treasury bill auction today, raising 182.5 billion rupees. At the auction, the total offered amount was fully accepted from each maturity, while weighted average yields saw a decline across the board. 3-month bill saw a 19 basis point decline, closing at weighted average yield rate of 7.93%, and 6-month bill declined by 16 basis points, closing at 8.09%, while attracting a larger reception. Also, the 1-year T-bill slumped by 16 basis points, closing at 8.47%. For the week ending 31st January, there are maturities worth 201.1 billion rupees to be settled by central bank. With 182.5 billion rupees being accepted at today's auction, it is likely to witness an increased liquidity in the market over the week. Furthermore, the Monetary Policy Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, at its meeting held on 28 January 2025, decided to maintain the overnight policy rate of the central bank at its current level of 8%. The board arrived at this decision following a careful analysis of the current and expected macroeconomic developments on the domestic and global fronts.
Gold prices remained unchanged today as investors awaited the U.S. interest rate decision with additional focus on President Donald Trump's trade policies and new tariff threats. Spot gold held steady at $2,761.93 per ounce, while U.S. gold futures gained 0.1% to $2,769.80. Last week, gold prices were nearing record highs but experienced a decline of over 1% on Monday. This drop was attributed to investors liquidating their gold holdings to cover losses from a sharp pullback in technology stocks. The pullback was triggered by growing concerns over DeepSeek's low-cost, low-power AI model. These factors have created uncertainty in the market, keeping gold prices relatively stable for now. Oil prices dipped today, reversing some of the previous session's gains as rising U.S. crude stockpiles and easing concerns over Libyan supplies weighed on the market. Brent crude futures fell 0.1%, settling at $77.42 per barrel, while U.S. crude futures dropped 7 cents to $73.70 per barrel. The potential for U.S. tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports helped prevent further losses. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia's energy minister and other OPEC Plus representatives have engaged in discussions following President Trump's call for lower oil prices ahead of next week's OPEC Plus meetings. Oil benchmarks had already fallen to multi-week lows earlier this week due to concerns about rising interest in artificial intelligence, which could impact energy demand for powering data centers. Weak economic data from China has further dampened the global outlook for oil demand. These factors combined have added to the uncertainty surrounding the energy market. The Sri Lankan rupee has seen a slight appreciation against the US dollar in commercial banks today compared to yesterday. According to the commercial bank, the buying rate of the US dollar has decreased while the selling rate has also shown a slight reduction, reflecting a positive shift in the exchange rates. Let's now take a closer look at how the Sri Lankan rupee is performing against other major global currencies. A short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back. Lima Creations, interior design solutions company, proudly marks its 25th anniversary this year, celebrating a quarter century of excellence in the field of interior design and manufacturing of bespoke furniture.
Lima Creations has cemented its position as a leader in the interior design industry with a strong reputation both locally and internationally. The company has consistently delivered innovative and creative design solutions, making its mark in both residential and commercial interior design. Over the past decade, Lima has earned numerous international awards, recognizing its excellence and achievements in the field. These accolades reflect Lima's dedication to sustainability, technical precision, ergonomics, and superior design quality. Specializing in turnkey solutions, Lima Creations offers comprehensive interior architecture and in-house manufacturing of bespoke furniture. The company's expert team provides tailored design solutions for sophisticated office spaces, luxury homes, and corporate environments, always maintaining the highest standards of creativity and quality. Lima Creations continues to be a trusted name in the industry, setting benchmarks for design excellence.
Damro has launched Sri Lanka's first AI-powered smart zone in partnership with Samsung. Located at Marina Mall in Colombo, the Samsung AI Zone aims to redefine how Sri Lankans experience advanced AI technology and smart living solutions. This groundbreaking initiative marks a key milestone in the ongoing partnership between Damro Group and Samsung Sri Lanka. The zone was officially opened by key figures including Sangwa Song, the Managing Director of Samsung Sri Lanka, and Nalaka Gunatilaka, the Joint Managing Director of Damro. The AI Zone features a wide range of AI-powered products including Samsung Smart TVs, refrigerators, washing machines and Galaxy smartphones. With its cutting-edge home automation systems, the zone promises to empower customers' lifestyles with the latest technology. Hutch has partnered with Ceylon Waste Management Limited to launch a new sustainability initiative, installing e-waste collection stations at its flagship store and brand shops across Sri Lanka.
Hutch has launched a new initiative in partnership with Ceylon Waste Management Limited to install e-waste collection stations at its flagship store and brand shops across Sri Lanka. The project encourages customers to responsibly dispose of outdated mobile phones and batteries, promoting sustainability and the circular economy. As an incentive, Hutch offers rewards such as 50 GB of data for recycling smartphones and 500 minutes of talk time for discarding 2G phones. Ceylon Waste Management Limited will oversee the collection and ensure environmentally safe recycling processes. Hutch CEO Soumitra Gupta emphasizes the importance of addressing the environmental challenges posed by the electronic waste and the company's commitment to sustainability. Sudesh Nandasiri, the managing director of Ceylon Waste Management, highlighted the significance of the collaboration, stressing that the responsible disposal will reduce environmental pollution. Together, the two companies aim to create a sustainable future where both corporations and individuals share responsibility for the planet.
First Capital Advisory Services Limited, a subsidiary of First Capital Holdings PLC, and Atara Capital Limited have signed a Memorandum of Understanding to form a strategic partnership in Sri Lanka. The collaboration aims to enhance the corporate finance landscape by leveraging both companies' expertise and networks. This partnership will provide high-impact investment opportunities and structured financial transactions. For First Capital, the partnership offers new opportunities to attract investors, borrowers, and market opportunities, while expanding its service offerings. It's expected to drive increased deal volume, revenue growth, and strengthen its market position. Atara Capital will benefit from the opportunity to collaborate on debt securities transactions, tapping into First Capital's experience and successful track record. SLT Mobitel has successfully trialled 5G Advanced for the first time in Sri Lanka, marking a historic milestone in the country's technological development and showcasing its leadership in mobile technology.
SLT Mobitel has successfully conducted Sri Lanka's first 5G Advanced trial, achieving blazing speeds over 5 Gbps, showcasing its leadership in the telecom innovation. The trial, held at the company's headquarters in Colombo, utilized advanced ZTE radio equipment and the Xiaomi 14 Ultra handset, demonstrating cutting-edge technologies like 3cc carrier aggregation, massive MIMO, 1024 QAM modulation on the C-band spectrum. This breakthrough in 5G technology promises ultra-fast speeds, enhanced reliability, and greater network capacity, opening new possibilities for mobile communications. Sudarshana Giganage, Chief Operating Officer of Mobitel, emphasized that this trial reinforces SLT Mobitel's commitment to advancing Sri Lanka's digital revolution. He noted that the new technology will play a pivotal role in the nation's digitization efforts, benefiting industries and individuals alike. 5G Advanced, an evolution of existing 5G technology, enhances performance with AI-driven network optimizations and advanced techniques. These innovations have the potential to transform industries including healthcare, transportation, entertainment, and smart cities.
NDB Bank hosted the Exporters Forum at the Ramrich Hotel in Jaila, bringing together industry leaders and key stakeholders to discuss strategies for advancing Sri Lanka's export sector. The event, attended by a distinguished group of exporters from the northwestern region, highlighted NDB's commitment to fostering growth and innovation within the export community. Mangala Wijayasinghe, the chairman and CEO of the Export Development Board, delivered a keynote address focusing on government policies, sector targets and initiatives to enhance Sri Lanka's competitiveness in global trade. He emphasized the crucial role exporters play in driving the country's economic growth. Indika Ranavira, the Vice President of SME, Middle Markets and Business Banking at NDB, shared insights into the bank's efforts to support exporters, including tailored financial solutions and capacity building programs. He also outlined NDB's plans for the coming year, particularly its focus on empowering SMEs to become successful exporters. The forum showcased the bank's ongoing initiatives aimed at helping Sri Lankan exporters thrive in a challenging global market. Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. back to the nightly business report. Most Asian stocks drifted higher today as the severe rout in technology shares, triggered by concerns over DeepSeek, a new Chinese AI model, appeared to be easing. Australian markets led the region, rising to a near two-month high following softer than expected consumer price index inflation data, fueling expectations of potential interest rate cuts by the Reserve Bank of Australia. Gains in tech stocks helped the Nikkei 225 rise 0.5%, recovering from 2 days of steep losses. The Topix index also gained 0.6%, benefiting from its relatively lower exposure to tech stocks compared to the Nikkei. Asian technology stocks saw relief as the 2-day sell-off triggered by DeepSeek concerns began to abate. Japanese tech giants such as Advantest Corp, Tokyo Electron Limited and SoftBank Group Corp stabilized, where Renzi's Electronics Corp saw a 2.7% increase. Overall, the recovery in tech stocks helped lift regional markets amid a more optimistic outlook. US stocks ended higher, with Nvidia and other artificial intelligence-linked technology shares recovering from sharp losses the previous day as investors snapped up bargains.
U.S. stocks ended higher on Tuesday, with Nvidia and other AI-related shares recovering from sharp losses a day earlier. The Dow gained about 0.3%, the S&P 500 added over 0.9%, and the tech-heavy Nasdaq climbed more than 2%. AI chip leader Nvidia rose nearly 9%, a day after its 17% drop erased over $590 billion from its market value in what was the biggest single-session loss for any company. The tech sell-off followed Chinese startup DeepSeek's launch of AI models it said were on par or better than industry-leading U.S. rivals at a fraction of the cost. Among other movers, Apple shares rose 3.7%, ahead of the tech giant's quarterly results later this week. Shares of Royal Caribbean rallied 12% after the cruise operator forecast annual profit largely above expectations. And General Motors shares fell nearly 9% following its results and outlook, with investors weighing the threat of tariffs that could hit the automaker's business. The Federal Reserve kicked off its first policy meeting of the year on Tuesday, with the central bank expected to announce on Wednesday that it will keep interest rates unchanged.
JetBlue Airways shares tumbled after the New York-based carrier forecast higher costs and unit revenue below analysts' expectations for the first quarter.
JetBlue shares plummeted more than 26% on Tuesday after the airline forecast first-quarter results that were below Wall Street's expectations. The carrier projected its revenue per available seat mile, a common metric for airlines that's also known as unit revenue, could fall as much as 0.5% or grow as much as 3.5%. But analysts were expecting unit revenue to grow by nearly 7%, according to data compiled by LSEG. JetBlue is also facing higher costs as ongoing inspections of certain turbofan engines have grounded several of its planes. One bright spot was JetBlue's smaller-than-expected loss, aided by cost-saving initiatives and improved pricing. After its $3.8 billion merger with the now bankrupt Spirit Airlines fell through in March, JetBlue moved to bolster its finances by postponing the delivery of 44 Airbus jets. The move is expected to reduce its projected capital expenditures by about $3 billion over the next 4 years.
But that's all from us here at the Nightly Business Report for today. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest updates across the business globe. Until then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.